you can have casinos. Allah says in Quran that gambling leads to hatred. Gambling leads to hatred. And you know what happens when somebody's out there gambling and somebody's winning all their money and somebody's losing their money. Something getting ready to go down. Oh, you cheated. You call it cheat. Something getting ready to go down. Because it causes hatred. So the government told the indigenous people, in order to build yourselves up, we will allow you to have gambling halls. There are certain groups of indigenous people who ain't going with that. Because they got that revolutionary spirit. Back during the time that the Black Panther Party, for example, was being vamped on by the government, so too was the American Indian Movement. AIM was being vamped on. Vamped on. We must align ourselves. Some of these groups hooked up with Farrakhan. And they went over to Libya with Farrakhan. And Gaddafi gave him, Gaddafi talking about the money that was coming. And when Farrakhan got back here, some of the indigenous people who was down with him said, we never saw no money. They said, as a matter of fact, Farrakhan asked us if his Fruit of Islam can do security in the casinos. These are the activists. These are the activists who we're talking to. He asked if the Fruit can do security in the casino, provide security in casinos, and then thereby just get a little cut. When he heard us talking about the Islamic movement, a representative came up and said, look here, we need to talk. Because we thought that the main, revolutionary Muslims was Farrakhan. And then Farrakhan told us that Gaddafi was down. And now y'all up here saying that Gaddafi, because that's one of the things that we said, that Gaddafi is not down. Right? So they were confused. We thought that Gaddafi was down and that he was revolutionary. Man, Gaddafi's a punk. Gaddafi's a punk. He a punk. He's an egomaniac. The man's crazy. It's not about Quran and Sunnah. It's about Gaddafi. He oppresses his people. He kills the Muslim activists in his country. So that threw him off. They said, we need to hook up with then those Muslims then who are active and, and we said, yeah, we need to hook up too with the indigenous people who are down too. And so, inshallah, their leader, one of their leaders, we're planning a meeting with one of their leaders and Imam Musa. Because this is a continuation of that legacy. It's a continuation of a history that's got to continue. So whenever we see our Latino brothers and sisters, you can't think that they're Spaniards. They are indigenous people. California, Nevada, New Mexico, and Texas were all a part of Mexico. And now the indigenous people are now called illegal aliens. But the Canadians are not illegal aliens when they come in. But the indigenous people are illegal aliens. So there's a bond that is historical. So when we go, and I think we're supposed to be participating in their powwow. We talk about their powwow that they have in San Luis Obispo. So we're supposed to be participating in the next powwow, whereby we can make presentations. Make presentations. And one of the presentations that we intend to make is the historical relationship between not just Africans, but African Muslims and the indigenous people. And how in the heritage of indigenous people, there is Islam. How in the heritage of indigenous people in the Americas, there is Islam. So this is a relationship that we have to continue, inshallah. I'm sorry I went so long. There's much more information than this. There's much more information than this. But you might want to check out They Came Before Columbus, Ivan Van Sertima. Deeper Roots by Dr. Abdullah Hakim Quick. Some of these books, the Africans in the Discovery of America, Leo Weiner, 1920. This Barry Fell, right? Yeah, Barry Fell. Saga America.